afternoon, and welcome to yet another edition of Education Telescope on Leadership TV. I am your host, Mariam Rabiu, and here are the news for today. States yet to access 46 billion matching grants, says UBEC. Universal Basic Education Commission UBEC said on Wednesday that some state governments are yet to access matching grants meant for the development of public basic education system in the states. UBEC said that while some states are yet to access 2 to 3 years grants, Anambra State was yet to access 2019 matching grants as at April 30th, 2023, that would have helped the state to further develop its basic education system. Acting Executive Secretary of UBEC, Professor Bala Zakari, told members of Senate Committee on Basic and Secondary Education who were on oversight visit to the commission in Abuja that over 46 billion naira matching grants for the development of public primary and junior secondary schools has remained unaccessed by some state governments. He disclosed that over 162 billion naira was allocated to the state as Universal Basic Education (UBE) grants between 2019 and 2022, while 116 billion naira was accessed by 36 states and the FCT as at 30th April 2023, representing 71.52%. Further breakdown of the capital budget implementation reports indicated that in 2019, 35 states and FCT accessed the 2019 allocation, with one state, Anambra, yet to access the grant as of 30th April 2023. On the 2020 matching grant, 30 states and the FCT have accessed the grant, while 6 states, namely Abia, Adamawa, Anambra, Ebonyi, Kwara, and Ogun, are yet to access the matching grant as at 30th April 2023. Similarly, 29 states have accessed 2022 matching grant projects, while 7 states and FCT are yet to access the matching grants as at 30th April 2023. Earlier, the chairman, Senate Committee on Basic and Secondary Education, Senator Ibrahim Gaidam, said it was important to ensure that money released by the government is used for the purpose it was released. The committee stressed the need for state governors to key into UBEC projects by accessing its funds to develop the nation's basic education sector. Onto the Sudan crisis, JAM to support integration of returnee students into universities. Joint Admission and Matriculation Board (JAMB) has said it will support integration of Nigerian students evacuated from the crisis-torn Sudan into the nation's universities. The registrar, Professor Ishaq Oloyede, made this known in Abuja when Chairman of Nigerians in Diaspora Commission, Mrs. Abike Dabiri Erewa, led some officials to JAMB headquarters. This came as another batch of Nigerians stranded in Sudan arrived at the Nnamdi Azikiwe International Airport, Abuja. The evacuees, 136 in number, arrived aboard a Tarko Aviation aircraft via Port Sudan at 9:30 a.m. Oloyede, who empathized with the students, commended NIDCOM for effective handling of their evacuation, promising that they will provide necessary infrastructure, necessary enablements to accommodate them or return the candidates to their educational system. The JAMB boss, however, urged the students not to tread the path of those who returned to the country over a year ago, following outbreak of the Russia-Ukraine war. According to him, the students refused to comply with procedures that should have ensured their continued their academic program seamlessly. He explained that there are procedures, e.g., the transcript, rules, and regulations. Nobody should, by illusion, believe that a Nigerian university will award a certificate with less than 2 years stay and residency in the university. The procedure is done legitimately and properly with cooperation of the National Universities Commission and the individual institution. The guideline from JAMB has already been handed over to the chairperson of the commission. The NIDCOM boss assured that laid-down procedures will be followed towards integrating the affected students. She said, "The key thing is that there are processes to follow, but they are not difficult processes. That is what we learned from JAMB." University of Abuja Council appoints new DVC academic and administration. The Governing Council of University of Abuja has approved the appointment of Professor Aisha Sani Maikudi and Professor Philip Uso Apaha as Deputy Vice-Chancellors, Academic and Administrations, respectively. The council gave this approval at its 96th regular meeting held on Thursday, 4th and Friday, 5th May 2023. A statement by the registrar, Malam Yahya I. Mohammed, said the council's approval followed the selection of the two deputy vice-chancellors at the 78th extraordinary meeting of Senate held on Wednesday, 22nd March 2023, in accordance with the provision of the University of Abuja Act. Mohammed said the appointment, which took effect from 5th May 2023, was for a period of 2 years in the first instance. The next story says 3 million girls benefit from World Bank assisted projects. Not less than 3 million girls have so far benefited from the Adolescent Girls Initiative for Learning and Empowerment, a World Bank assisted project in promoting education and its opportunities for adolescent girls aged between 10 and 20. This was disclosed by the National Project Coordinator Amina Uba Haruna at the national flag-off of the program titled Madubi, a Hausa word which means mirror. She said the initiative was aimed at advocating the importance of girl child education in Nigeria. She said the program, which is currently being run in 7 states, namely Borno, Ekiti, Kaduna, Kano, Katsina, Kebbi, and Plateau State, was aimed at encouraging young girls to properly choose their destinies in which education serves as proper foundation. She also called for the enrollment of more female teachers in schools, saying this would attract more girls, while noting that other communities would soon join to create opportunities for girls in the aforementioned locations. The Madubi is a national campaign that they want to advocate more on the outside society to know the importance of girl child education in Nigeria. That is why they adopted the word from Hausa, because it is a mirror that that girl in the mirror is you, me, and us. NUC says Nigeria's tertiary education underfunded. The National Universities Commission (NUC) says tertiary education in Nigeria is grossly underfunded, and this is affecting the quality of research and teaching in the sector. The Commission is therefore asking that the federal government allocate more funds and invest in universities nationwide. According to the NUC Executive Secretary Abubakar Rashid, the brain drain across universities was caused by the complex learning and teaching environment. Rashid said this at a reunion conference at Obafemi Awolowo University, Ile-Ife, Osun State on Saturday, May 13. The NUC boss, who was represented by a Professor Shehu Adu, a consultant for the regulatory body, said the government needed to increase funding to promote quality education and other issues. Rashid also said tertiary institutions should endeavor to identify other areas where they could get funds to continue their work. Student body found floating in river. The campus of Akwa Ibom State Polytechnic at Ikot Osurua in Ikot Ekpene local government area was in mourning following the discovery of the corpse of a 22-year-old undergraduate floating in a river after 3 days of search. Leadership Weekend gathered the news. The deceased, a 200-level student of Electrical Electronics Engineering Department, was declared missing 3 days ago. Some of the students, while reacting to the discovery of the body, said the student left the school unannounced, and when he failed to return, they called his friends at home and other places without response until Saturday morning when the Apiapo community raised the alarm concerning an object floating in the river, which was later discovered as the corpse of the student. Buhari appoints Ochi Idoma, Chancellor of Federal University of Otoke. President Muhammadu Buhari has presented letter of appointment to the paramount ruler of the Idoma Kingdom, His Royal Majesty Agabaidu Dr. Ilegu Odogbo Obagaji John, as the new Chancellor of the Federal University Otoke Bayelsa State. The presentation was done on Friday, 12th May 2023 at the Ochidoma Palace, Otugbo, according to a statement from Federal Ministry of Education. Speaking during the presentation, Buhari, represented by the Executive Secretary of the Tertiary Education Trust Fund (TET Fund), Architect Sonny Ekono, stated that Ochidoma's appointment was based on his enviable track records, leadership qualities, and integrity. Mr. President commended his commitment to the development of education and the sustenance of peace and stability of the country. Responding, Agbaidu Elaigu Odogbo thanked the federal government for finding him worthy of the prestigious appointment, assuring the president of his total commitment in the discharge of his responsibilities. Stakeholders urge incoming administration to address ASU strikes. Some stakeholders in the education Some stakeholders in education have urged the incoming administration to address constant strikes by the Academic Staff Union of Universities (ASU). The stakeholders gave the advice in Enugu during an interview with the press, also urged the administration to give much attention to primary and secondary education to improve standards. A senior lecturer at the Enugu State University of Science and Technology, Mr. Amadi Aro, said that the administration should endeavor to meet ASU's demands to avert strikes and their negative effects on university education. Aro said that a meaningful salary package and decent work environment would enable university teachers to impart the needed knowledge on students. He added that provision of necessary teaching aids would enable lecturers to discharge their duties better. He said that all levels of education in Nigeria needed urgent attention. He called for regular provision of instructional materials and other teaching aids as well as recruitment of teachers to address insufficiency of manpower in teaching. Kaduna State Government unveils campaign to enroll 145,553 out-of-school children. The Kaduna State Universal Basic Education Board has begun a campaign to enroll 145,553 out-of-school children in schools under the World Bank-supported Better Education Service Delivery for All programs. Mrs. Esther Jibji, the board's desk officer, Area 1 lead, BESDA, made this note at the opening of a one-day stakeholder sensitization and enrollment of out-of-school children in Kaduna. Jibji explained that BESDA, which began in the state in 2019, was specifically designed to address the menace of out-of-school children. She said that the board has enrolled over 500,000 out-of-school children in the state in the first phase of the program, of which 312,785 children have been verified by the National Population Commission. She added that the state has secured additional grants to return more out-of-school children to school, stressing the need for the stakeholder sensitization. The desk officer identified some of the out-of-school children as children roaming the streets, children from poor and vulnerable households, children with disabilities, girl child, and nomadic children, among others. She said that some of the children could be found on the street, motor parks, farms, while others were hidden in their houses due to their disabilities. She also said that Kaduna Suburb has established non-formal learning centers in some parts of the state. In her remarks, Hajia Farida Ibrahim, Education Secretary, Kaduna North Local Government Education Authority, described the BESDA program as crucial to addressing the problem of out-of-school children in the state. And the last news for today says, Buhari commissions 1 billion naira TET fund project in Ekiti universities. President Muhammadu Buhari has commissioned 6 projects sponsored by the Tertiary Education Trust Fund across 3 universities in Ekiti State. At the commissioning on Friday, the president inaugurated a 318 million naira vocational education workshop at the Bamidele Olumilua University of Education, Science and Technology, Ikere, Ekiti. Faculty of Social Sciences, Twin Lecture Theatre and Medical Ward for the University Health Center in Ekiti State University, Ado Ekiti, worth 306 million naira, and the 369 million naira construction, and furnishings of lecture theatres Block A for Faculty of Science at the Federal University Oye Ekiti, totaling ₦995.6 million. Represented by the Minister of Industry, Trade and Investment, Niyi Adebayo, the President commended the Executive Secretary of Ted Fund, Sonny Ekono, and his team for their efforts in effectively discharging the mandate of the fund for the continuous development of public tertiary education in the country. He explained that the administration was committed to providing the enabling infrastructures and facilities for institutions to be globally competitive, adding that education remains one of the critical indices for socio-economic development in any country. According to him, the federal government through TET Fund had expended over 600 million naira on 155 lecturers from the university in both local and foreign institutions for masters and PhD programs, commending the Vice Chancellor, Professor Victor Adeoluwa, for the developmental stride in the state-owned university. And that is all on today's edition of Education Telescope. Thank you for staying tuned. See you next week, same time, same day. Bye for now.